And hello, everybody. Welcome to Sasquatch Secrets. I'm your host, Nikki Colon. Thank you all for coming tonight to my weekend download of my little trip up north. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on my guests so they can help me sort out the mess. How about that? So hello, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Nikki. How are you?
Good. I really enjoyed the show last night. You were on Squatch DTV there with Steve Calls, the Squatch detective.
Yeah,
and it pretty impressive sounds coming out from over there.
There's a lot to work on, that's for sure.
I bet. But let's go ahead and bring in our next guest.
Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up.
Hello. What are you laughing at?
On, Brent?
Not much. Not anything. Not anything at all.
Yes, you are.
I too enjoyed your show last night, Jonathan.
Well, thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
We do have one more guest, guys.
Hey, Jen.
Hey.
It's Jennifer. The girls are going to take over. Just wait.
Oh,
Just
boy.
Wait.
Here they
I'm
come.
I'm down.
I need to rest.
You're already exhausted, huh?
Yeah. Legs are getting a little tired.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on here and helping me sort out some of the mess. Well, it's not mess. I had a great time. I
Awesome.
planned pretty well. Things went. But of course, stuff comes up, You either forget something or you didn't plan something that's happening. I worked through everything and I did have a major mistake. So I thought about, I'm not going to tell anybody, what I did, but I realized that that's not me. And I want to be honest about where I'm going with this and how I'm going to proceed, right, with my investigations. I myself am not prepared to call myself a field researcher, more of just an investigator at this point, of everything. So, but I did. I planned pretty well, and I knew where I wanted to camp, and it was my area is in Cloudcroft, New Mexico, and where I'm going to show you where I stayed, because I was just a regular campground that has nothing to do with the area that I'm going to be researching. That's not a good research area. Okay, too much traffic, a lot of people coming and going, lots of kids and whatnot going around. It was a beautiful area.
The ice, so.
Yeah, but it was a good place for me to settle and go out from there to look at these points that I wanted to check out, which I did. And now I can't show you my Google Maps because I put little hearts everywhere I went. I don't want anybody to know where I went.
It's the ladies' way.
Right? And so I had to pull up Google Earth here. And just to kind of show you from where I'm at to where I'm going. And El Paso's down there at the very bottom. And I will zoom in. So from El Paso, it's not a bad drive. It's a 2 hour exactly is what it took me to get there. And I actually have a couple different options to get there through Las Cruces or going in front of right there, White Sands National Park. One of the roads drives right past towards Holloman Air Force Base to Alamogordo. Can you see my little cursor?
Yes.
Circle
I can.
Alamogordo. Okay. So Cloudcroft is actually a village, and it's in Otero County, and it's situated in the Sacramento Mountains. So you from Alamogordo, you go up and you hit those mountains and you end up getting to the top there, which was an elevation of 8,600, a little over that.
Wow, that's up there.
And that was my first mistake. Was not anticipating what the elevation was going to do to me. It was not like walking over in Washington. Matter of fact, I had to go look up what the elevation was there in Cougar, since we were just north of Cougar. But I didn't even realize it. But in Cougar, it was only like 512.
Yeah, that's
feet
pretty high though.
above.
8,000, man. Sheesh.
Yeah, that's
And
up
I
there.
was at 8,000, almost 9,000. I was like, I can't breathe. I can't even breathe to go to the bathroom. Why can't I breathe? Was the
Air's
first
a little
thing,
bit thin up there.
right?
Yeah.
And when that happened, I went to my purse to go get my inhaler and take a couple of things, and big major mistake. I didn't bring my new one. I grabbed the old one that was empty,
Boy.
and I didn't have my inhaler with me. So I was pretty sick that first day, actually.
That's
And I
a
thought,
bummer.
I made the best of it, but I was so upset with myself because that's like a major thing for me that I know I have to have, and I'm fine as long as I have that, but I didn't. And it was kind of disappointing. I was disappointed in myself for not double checking that, because I know we have had shows where we talked about you have to make sure you have your medications with you, and if you're going to do these hikes and this and that, and we talked about that. And that was the first thing I didn't do, was make sure that I had a fresh inhaler in my purse when I went.
You know what else will help you out, Nikki? I'm in and out of Lowe's quite frequently, and in the last year or so, they've been selling actual bottles of oxygen. They're portable. They're about the size of a can of spray paint. They come with a mouth cup, and I have one under the seat of my truck just in case. They're featherweight. They don't weigh anything because oxygen is weightless, and so would be very easy to pack in. And I gotta imagine, I would consult your physician first and ask, would this help me if it, if I'm at a high elevation, but that
If something
oxygen, a
like
shot
that.
of that, yeah, might have
Yeah.
helped you out of not feeling well.
Well, I was still mobile. I was okay, but I could definitely feel the pressure. It was, and anybody would feel that, being that high up. But the thing is that I knew I was going to be walking. I was going to be, doing these trails I had already scoped out and I wanted to do prior. So, I did get my daughter. She ended up going with me onto the OSHA trail, which was one of the bigger, more popular trails that I had wanted to go on. And she went with me. So, okay. So if you can see there, this that I'm circling right now, that's one of the mountains in the air, one of the tips. And I was in this uppermost silver campground up at the top here.
Nice.
And I ended up doing the OSHA trail. Let's see if it'll pop up. I don't know if it'll pop up here. Well, yeah, you can kind of see it. So down here where my cursor is where the OSHA trail starts, and then it comes up all the way and loops up around. And it's total, if you go all the way to Pines Campground, that's a 2.2 mile hike. But because I couldn't breathe, I did about half of it. We went around and up and around and then came back down.
Oh, that's respectable.
So, but it was beautiful, and those videos I'll be putting up and stuff.
Cool.
So everybody can see all of that. So I wasn't quite staying in Cloudcroft. I was a little bit north of there. And it was great. It was the scenery alone was amazing. And just why won't that stop sharing? There we go.
How far away from fall foliage are you folks? Another month?
It was just starting to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like everything's been a little bit later this year, they said.
Same
Everybody has been saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So the trees were still green, but you could just see the hint of stuff starting to change, And let me see if I can do. What was I going to do?
We didn't really get super vibrant colors this year. We had a lot of rain. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I noticed in the woods a lot of, I don't know what type of mold or mildew was on the maple leaves, but a lot of the color was hindered from a lot of discoloring from mold and mildew of some sort.
Well, this was the campsite when we got there.
Yeah, you got a lot of woods around you. That's nice.
Yeah, no, we were at the top, and it was like a big circle. You have an outer ring of campsites and then an inner one. But I liked it. I really loved it. It was beautiful. But I probably won't be camping again because we froze our asses off at night. It was cold. I mean, it dropped to 38, 39 at night.
Probably after midnight, from midnight to daylight.
God, yeah, to the early morning. It was so cold. We even had to cover your head because it was just that cold. Your nose was freezing. But the days were beautiful. The days were, 68, 69.
Typical fall weather.
Yeah, it was beautiful during the day. To where you could wear shorts during the day, but by 4 or 5 o'clock, you were putting your, sweats or pants on.
Well, just like Washington.
I thought I was cold in Washington. I was wrong. That was not cold. This was, it was pretty chilly, but it was beautiful but completely different terrain. And that was another thing, was that I was so glad that I ended up, I had talked to a friend of mine up there. Her name's EC, and she runs the channel called Desert Rat Gardener. Okay. She had a sighting there in Cloudcroft in the area, and she took me to her sighting area. Just absolutely amazing interview at the site. And we walked the whole area. We hiked that little area. So it was really cool. But she had told me, be sure to bring boots, because in Washington, I just use my hiking shoes, just the trekkers, and that was fine. But
nice truck.
Yeah. Thank you. That's the new truck. The truck we did have, the engine light kept coming on and coming on. My husband got pissed. So
yeah, Chevy's
traded it.
They have some pretty good deals out right now.
Yeah, he traded it in real fast. So I was like, can I borrow the new truck? Doesn't even have plates yet.
Oh, and I'm only going up into the woods with
I'm
it.
going up. Yeah. You did.
It's only going to get a couple scratches from the trail. It's okay.
Yeah. Hillbilly pinstriping.
Yeah, if he can find it. So anyway, it was fun. I was gonna say something too. Oh, the shoes. So I was fine with just like those light waders there in Washington because it was rocky, but a lot of soft ashy type dirt and stuff. That was not the case up there. It was rocky. I mean, on the OSHA trail, I thought I did take my boots, and on the 1/4 mile trail I took around our campsite, I used my boots and it was perfect, but they're really heavy. Those real boots, they're heavy. So I didn't want to do it on the OSHA trail. So there was another mistake. I wore my trekkers. That was a mistake. I could feel those rocks underneath my feet all the way around and back. So the next day I did meet EC up. She designated an area for us to meet, and then I followed her into the area she walks. And I did have my boots, and thank God, because that you'll be able to see when I put out the videos what the walking was like. I mean, we're not talking little rocks. They were rocks.
That was
like
going to be my question.
You know, all over. They were rocks. They were sharp. And a couple places I even drove. That's the type it is. You have to. She says, I'm so glad I didn't tell you to bring a walking stick. I had mine. You know, I had bought another one. Because the one I took to Washington, it won't retract or do nothing anymore. It's like Brent broke it. So
Sure did.
Brent. He's rough on equipment.
It worked while I was there. It
Kept
worked
poking
while I was
stuff
there.
with it.
So anyway, so I'm glad I had that, because it was very unsteady walking, and you know, I had knee issues. But I had no knee issues up there. So that was good. I felt really good in that sense of walking up there. But we went up and down and all over that area, and she took me to several places. I was like, oh my God, this would be a perfect place for a shindig right here. Everybody will fit right here. And it was fun. You know, we got along really great. She's, I gave her... I was hoping she would come in. I don't know. I haven't been checking the, let me check real fast, the chat to see if she dropped in. She doesn't really want to be seen on camera, but I told her she could, you know, take her picture off. No, I don't see her on here. She lives in a dead zone, so she doesn't have, she has to hook up everything just to get a signal and stuff. And it's kind of crazy. But up at that Upper Silver campground I was at, I had signal. I had like 3 bars. I was able to get in and out from up there. And then you'd go down and you would lose signal. So it was one of those just, you know, happenstance that particular campground had service for me.
Yeah, our second night over at Palmer's, over at Joe's spot.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled in. I sent you a picture of the car because it was all dirty and whatever. And then walk over to the fire ring was nothing.
Nothing? Oh,
no. Like that's 50 feet of difference. It's like, what?
No wonder, because I think I said something back. I'm not sure. And then you didn't answer back. So I thought, okay, she's busy. She's out there doing something.
Yeah, because we stopped to get firewood because, you know, we learned from the first night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
so
walked over to the fire pit and nope.
Nothing. No, were you like this going around trying to get a signal?
And Trackway sitting, you know, 5 feet away from me on the other side of the fire on his phone listening to Cole's show. I'm like, what the?
Mm-hmm. Right. So, but other than that, things went pretty well. I mean, the way I had planned, you know, would have been better for having my inhaler that first day. But then the next day I got a little bit better. Okay. I felt better. I was doing okay. We did that OSHA hike. I didn't, you know, it was fine. I was okay. I just had to take several breaks because it was an incline. It was like even more incline than where the portal was. It was like...
That's like what they do when they climb Mount Everest. They go up a certain distance and they acclimate. Then they go a little further. So you were starting to acclimate.
They even put a bench out, like in between spots. It was beautiful, but I'm like, this has many different reasons to be here because people need to sit down because it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we did as far as I could go, and I thought that's about it. I can't do. We walked for an hour. I need to go. We need to head back the other direction. So we did, because it was one of my longer hikes. We had only been doing half hour in Washington, I think it was around, 30, 35 minutes. We had to go and we'd come back and do it again later in the evening.
That's at 500 feet too.
Yeah. And so I was
than 8,000. That's for
I was feeling it. I was feeling it. We got down from there and we're coming down the trail, which was hard too, to come down that steep. And this old guy, he must have been like 80 something, coming up the trail with his big old stick and just trucking. I go, I bet you that guy has been doing this trail his whole life, every day, because that's how he looked. He just gave me a nod and he was just trucking, and he looked like, like he'd been out there a long time. But I'm like, dang, that guy can do that whole trail. I gotta be able to do that trail. But
he was going up to put on his Sasquatch suit.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was funny.
He's a hoaxer.
Well, later, on Saturday when I met EC, she was telling me how I need to be careful because people have died of heart attacks because of elevation sickness, which I really didn't know much about. Okay, I didn't know much about that. And she was saying, yeah, she's had friends who have passed away. They had, had that happen. The light heart, heavy feeling in their chest, and the next day, they just passed in their sleep or had a heart attack.
Wow.
And
That's
she
good
says,
to know. I didn't know that.
For that elevation, that it takes up to a week to get used to the elevation. I go, well, I'm not coming for that long. I go, by the time, I'll already be coming back. And she goes, well, one day's better. If you come up, you should stay one and do not hike that first day. She says, just chill and let your body acclimate because it's so high. The elevation's so high. And I go, well, I can definitely understand that, because after we put the whole camp together, I was like, okay, I need to sit down. I'm glad I had the kids there to help out, because it would have been a lot.
I don't even think we have any mountains in the Adirondacks anywhere near 8,000. I think Mount Marcy is, and don't quote me on this, but I think Mount Marcy is somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. And that's the biggest mountain in the Adirondacks, tallest mountain. And like I say, don't quote me on that, but I do believe that's pretty accurate.
So that's what it ended up looking like once we got it all put up and together. We had to
Very nice.
Put up.
Is that a screened-in tent? The lighter
one? The which one?
The larger one.
Oh, no, that's just a canopy put in front of the tent.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
that's
there's that poop.
Hey, more poop.
More poop. And it was like the most gigantic elk poop ever.
That's
I think it's elk. I think it's elk. I do.
Looks a lot like horse.
On the video, I have my foot in there, but the picture, I don't have
in it.
Foot in there. No, next to it. Next to it, so you could see how big it was. It was big. It was way big. Way big. But it's all full of grass and stuff, so it has to be elk.
Well, yeah, I like you. I said horse.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't.
It does
There's no horses there.
Horse, but an elk, I don't know a lot about elk, but you take those horns off and they are pretty much, close to a small horse, aren't they? I mean,
close enough.
I hadn't seen any. There are wild horses up a little bit further north in Ruidoso, because remember I went and I showed a picture. We went by a bunch of wild horses up there. But I hadn't heard any or seen any. So, and the elk all night long bugling the elk down at the bottom, because it was really kind of a steep slope once you went out from my camp. It was kind of steep. And that was a cat that came out of nowhere. I don't know. I think it was probably the camp host.
That little black spot to the left of the fireplace?
Yeah, that was a little cat that showed up, kept scaring me.
The resident cat probably
yeah,
was left there from the last campers.
Right.
Oops, sorry, kids.
I don't know.
They probably
There he
put
is.
strays out there for the mice and the rats or whatever, depending upon where they're at.
Looks
Well,
like
he wasn't
pretty
friendly.
tough cat.
You
he-
couldn't get next to him. He was very wild.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Maybe that's the Black Panther that Matt Larson saw. No, I'm just kidding, Matt. I'm just kidding. If you hear this, I'm picking.
They were doing wieners on the.
That's what it's all about.
Oh shit!
Seems real
the
boring
videos
at
are
times,
the videos are still uploading, so
yeah, it looks like you guys had a great time.
Yeah, that was at the top of the OSHA trail.
It's very mountainous.
Look at those rocks.
Oh, yeah, that could get to be a little uncomfortable walking on for a great deal of time, for sure.
Hold on, one of my screens is messing up here.
Did you see the remnants of rock slides along your trail?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, all
I
over.
would think so.
Yeah. It was pretty rocky.
Probably in the spring, early spring, when
Yeah.
ground's a little more. Well, I don't know what your rainy season is down there, but
It was kind of late this year too, and we barely got any.
do you get snow up there?
In Cloudcroft, yes, not El Paso,
Okay.
but in Cloudcroft, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she made me take a picture of that. But it was right off the trail. Okay, it was not. This is not Bigfoot. It looks like everybody was just, doing it for fun.
Whatever. It's blatant.
Yeah,
blatant.
it's right
It
there in
was
front
not.
of you.
It was not
Blatant.
blatant.
Something put those sticks against that tree.
So in this picture, if you look all the way to the horizon, that's White Sands, New Mexico. That's the national park out there.
Oh, wow. That's a great distance away. Was it based off your picture? Was it?
It's about a 30-minute drive. So figure about
30 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a crow flies?
As a crow.
As a crow flies, or as we drive?
As we drive. It winds, it's like switchbacks all the way down.
Shorten it up.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brent? 20 miles?
I would say 42.
In a quarter.
42.
0.3.
Yeah.
This is like this photo here is probably the main area of the Sacramento Mountains that most of the people, go to. There's 2 observatories up there. So I think that's why I had cell service over there, because directly on the next little peak over, there was one of the observatories. So I think that's probably why.
Oh, wow.
When you say
really beautiful at night up there.
Mm-hmm. The crystal clear sky. I mean, you could just see everything. No pollution, no light pollution. So
that's the best.
And being so high, planes were coming by, right? And it's like they were so low, and I'm like, well, then we're high. They're not that low. They're just passing over the mountain. And but we're very high, so it's not like normal.
Because I got high.
What
Yeah.
are the observatories you're talking about? Are they towers, buildings, or facilities?
They're looking at the stars.
Observatory.
Observatories. They're
So you mean those
gigantic.
little machines pop the quarter in and you can look at stuff?
Well, you can. They do have those there, but most of
Okay.
them, they're very huge telescopes. They're ginormous telescopes.
Oh,
Probably a
very
little more than a
cool.
quarter. Probably $2.
Yeah, you can't get into that one.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was going to say. I don't think they'd let just pedestrians into those.
Right. And I kind of did all these little roads here. But on Saturday, I stopped after meeting with the EC and we did a little round, and she wanted me to keep going all afternoon. But they're fixing the gas station in Cloudcroft, so there's no gas station.
Uh-oh.
And the nearest one was in Alamogordo, so I needed to save enough gas to at least get me to Alamogordo. And
there's a camping tip. Always have an extra can of gas in the back of the truck if you're traveling out on the country roads for a long distance.
It just so happened that they're changing out the tanks. So it was a big old mess downtown. Also, they're making a Bigfoot encounter experience like I don't know, a store or whatever. I don't know if it's going to be, just an attraction, another attraction right there in Cloudcroft, which is the population is only like 770 people. It's very small, so that'll be interesting when that's done. But they were doing construction all on that too. This was taken at hopefully will be my new research area. That's
very
the view
nice.
I got.
Pretty neato.
That should be good for audio too. I mean, is with the volume that Sasquatch seemed to have, being up there as high as you are, I would imagine if one would vocalize like those loud roar howls or something, you should be able to pick that up good up there.
Hopefully, yeah, because everything echoes. Everything's bounces off of everything. This was one of the trails that we went off of. It's a closed forest road. I guess a couple years back, a tree fell over the road and they just sealed it off. Well, they put a barrier up. So we parked in front of the barrier and we walked in. And
For real? That's it? Just a tree over the road?
Yeah. Well, I don't know why. But this is where she had her sighting. So, and it was coming down and it just zoomed right in front of her. And it's an amazing story, and I can't wait to show everybody that.
Yeah, that would be interesting for sure.
That'd be cool to take like a e-bike or something.
Yeah,
it won't. An e-bike will not go on that road.
Really?
There's no way an e-bike will. Four-wheeler, yes, can get up there, but there's no way an e-bike could do it. No. There's no way.
It gets much rougher than what we're looking at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's spots. There's spots where that is really bad,
Yeah.
Is that the Black Panther?
So yeah, that's the Black Panther Buddy. That's Buddy right there.
There he goes. Somebody call Matt. Let's do a comparison.
Yep, there he goes.
Oh, we don't
Matt.
want to see those. We don't want to see those. Anyway, so it was great. It was a great experience. And oh, there goes the camera. Where's my?
It's
So,
just gonna be
a
a
few-
screensaver now, Nikki. Just a tablet.
I know, just like this. It won't fix. I'm gonna have to
Put like
get
a
a new
bullseye on
camera.
there or something.
I'm gonna
You
have
should
to
give it
get
something
a
to focus it
camera.
into. You should put like a big dot on there so it can focus in on it.
Well, that's what the lines are for. It's supposed to focus on the lines.
I was probably having a
Focus.
harder time on the lines because they blend
Focus.
into.
Focus.
I do a big black
There it
dot.
is.
That's what that does. You're back. She's not fading away.
I'm not.
It's like Back to the Futures or something.
But I took a book out of Jonathan's stuff, and I started my own journal and writing everything down of the stuff. So my mistakes and me trying to find a pharmacy, and they don't even have a pharmacy or anything.
It's fun to read that. I mean, set the research aside when you start writing in that journal. To go back and say, wow, that was 3 years ago, and start reading, and you start remembering, it puts a smile on your face.
Yeah, and it's kind of sounds like a regular journal right now. I think as I go along and start finding stuff, then it'll be more interesting. But right now, it's just about me and my thoughts about what I ran into and how things developed, and
that's cool.
which is fun. It was fun, and so EC and I had talked, and we really got along. So I think we're gonna try to make this a thing where we go out together and do these little treks.
Excellent.
So that should be fun. My next one will probably just be a day trip. I think I can do it now. But it'll have to be the same as what everybody else does, the weekend warrior type of stuff, and make it a day. Now that I know my way, and I know it only takes 2 hours, and then we can do our thing, and I can probably still be home by 6 or 7.
What's nice sometimes?
Sure can.
Bring a hammock. They're really light. They'll pack.
Yeah, we have 2. We set up one out there.
Bring that up into the woods. That's right. And strap off to the tree, kick back in the hammock, and take a nap for a couple hours. I like that.
That's a pretty long way for a nap.
I already have one up in I dug a hole and dropped a container in the ground that I got at Benson's pet store. It's like this hard plastic manila thing that you put either dog, cat food, or bird seed. I put bird seed in them, and it has a gasket on the top. And the one that I have, the lid sits a bit of at an angle. It's a little bit bigger than the next one, but you tighten that down. And I buried it in the ground, put some stuff over top of it, and I throw supplies down there. I have first aid kit.
Oh wow!
I took some stuff out of there.
That's
cool.
I
have a cache up in the woods, and that way, that's already a mile up in there. If I run into a track, now I don't have to have carrying around 5 pounds of plaster with me. I have everything I need in that cache.
Wow, I never thought about that.
I have 4 or 5 bags of that Patriot supply, like maple oatmeal and traveler stew and some lasagna stuff. And I just add boiling water, eat, and it just, so I have a hammock in there. And if I'm out in that area and I just having one of those days where it's hot and I'm not seeing anything, strap that hammock up, take a nap, and wait until the afternoon.
Yeah, let's be honest though, man. A nap's always great though, man. If you can squeeze a nap in, especially in a beautiful area out there, it's like, geez, man, it's like rewarding. It's like recharge. It's a supercharge is what it is.
Yes, it is.
Like power nap out there. It's like, damn.
Well, I try to write in my journal, but I just start nodding off, and I'm
that's what was happening to me. I was like writing, and then I'm going. That was happening to me. And even though I was a couple of times I went and sat by myself out there in the woods, to do that, because when I was in camp, I was getting distracted by what the kids were doing and everything. But it's still, I would just find myself looking off, just looking at things and not paying, I couldn't get my thoughts together to put them on paper until later. Yeah. But I'm sure that'll come easier.
Like,
stop it. What?
Hey, Jen, are you frozen? Oh, you're not frozen.
No, I've had a cold for the last 3 days.
Oh no!
I called off work. I called off work yesterday. I slept. I called off at like 9:30 in the morning. I didn't wake back up until almost 3 in the afternoon.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Sorry to hear that.
I was at the tail end of mine when we went over to Whitehall, so I don't think I infected you with a cold. I hope not.
Oh no, this is just, like since Washington, like I've either been out doing stuff or I've been working, and I just ran myself into the ground, I think. It's all right.
Yeah,
for eye shine? Wow. I didn't know that.
Somebody brought up, I think it was when we were out with Steve at his spot. Somebody was speaking about possible bear eye shine, and then I do believe one of the fellas, was it Eric Swanson? He had asked, what color do bears' eyes shine? Now I can say that I've seen a copper penny color, and that was because I could, I confirmed the bears right there. It was just about, if I wasn't looking through that iPhone, it was dark, but through that iPhone, it lights things right up pretty good, so it looked like it was still daytime. But once I turned my light on and decided to back out of there, it did shine like a copper color.
Wow.
But I always thought that deer always had green eyes until, that's what my father always taught me. That's what I had always seen. But I have video footage right here behind my house of a deer that I could identify that did have a lighter copper color, almost yellow. Yeah.
Wow. I never thought about that. So didn't see any eye shines other than skunk and raccoon. The first two nights we were chasing the skunks out for the first 2 nights. And then the third night we were waiting and they never came. Instead it was a raccoon. Which was funny because it wasn't like the color of a regular raccoon. It was kind of lighter brown. It was like whitewashed. It was like a whitewashed raccoon. So I thought that was kind of different. And I saw a great horned owl. It flew
that's cool.
Real low, and it had a mouse in its beak. As it was flying. You could see the little tails and the legs sticking out. That's how low it was. It was right over the tent. And I only turned because you could hear the the wings going. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we may have had one of those fly over us. I'm slaughtering his last name last night. I think I was saying Mike Lucy. It's Lucci, right?
Lucci.
Yeah. So Mike Lucci and I had heard one go overhead, and I do believe that Trackway had experienced that too. And Jen, were you with him? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that. I mean, I was sitting.
You were sitting at the table when we were standing there.
Yeah, there was a couple things that swooped down through a couple times. So.
And I think Bill was out at the road, and he heard it out on the road. Yeah. And I didn't really, somebody brought up something about they didn't think that owls made a lot of noise in flight. Now, owls do have specialized wings. On the tips of their wings, their feathers are suited for silence. If you look it up, you'll be able to read.
There's a cool YouTube video with that to help illustrate that. Yeah. How an owl's wings are like you're saying, it creates less turbulence in the air, so it's a lot quieter.
Yeah, they're frayed or something, like very frayed at the tips, so they're just silent.
Yeah, however, I think it's also has to deal with their body, their wing ratio, and multiple factors. But yeah, it's they're one of the quietest birds, I guess, out there alive.
But I would imagine when they're flying full tilt, that's when you can hear that. But when they drop out of a tree for prey and they just kind of fall out and tip them wings back there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have been, it just picked up the little mouse for give it a ride and stuff, so it's just probably on its way out.
Poor mouse. Oh, what a horrible way to go.
Had a
hopefully just
before he passed away.
Being held against a branch with your eyeballs getting poked out of your.
You see those like ospreys or whatever carrying that fish, and it looks like it's just giving the fish a ride. The fish is there just going doo-doo-doo.
While them talons are crushing his spine.
Yeah, fish looks happy.
Oh, hopefully God straightened it out to where they just go into shock and black out, and then the rest of it's painless. I hope that's what I like to think. Except for this winter when I was out back and it had just gotten dark. This winter, wait a minute, spring. I'm sorry, it would have been spring, and I heard what I do believe was a rabbit squealing. And at first the squealing was stationary, and then all of a sudden it was going through the woods at a rate of speed. I thought, a coyote's got running off with that? And then it was really picking up speed, and I think it was an owl had caught a small cottontail. And that poor rabbit, that's actually bothered me. I've had to think about that a few times. I felt so bad for whatever that was screaming. It definitely was scared.
But think of all the little outlets that had dinner that night.
Yeah.
And able to go be other birds.
It's the way of nature.
Circle of life.
Well, that was the one thing I noticed was the amount of sign of animals. I mean, a lot. All kinds of poops and nests and stuff like that.
With a stick.
So just that big poop in the trail there.
Well, that's a good thing. That means you have a good, healthy habitat with viable, food supplies.
I had been under the impression that elk only bugle like dawn and dusk. I didn't know they did it all damn night. It got to be annoying at one point because this, it was so loud coming up the hill that it would wake you up like, is somebody screaming? That's what it kind of like seemed like. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's just an elk, and try to go back to sleep in the cold.
Or it was Bigfoot mimicking an elk. So
it could have been.
Stop.
Could have been.
No.
Yeah,
no.
It's abnormal behavior. You don't see that in elk behavior. You really don't. It's like
mimicking all night long.
Yeah.
They're just trying to scare up the tree octopus. That's all.
Or it could have gone full on shape
maybe
right into an elk and bugling. Maybe you saw a whole herd of Sasquatch
bugling out.
Yeah, they were shape shifting and bugling.
Oh, maybe I caught that encounter coming up to the right there. See that wooden building? That's going to be the Bigfoot encounter experience building right there.
Or is it going to be like an interactive
I
forest in there where you get scared by Bigfoot or something? You mean?
I don't know. There's still experience. She didn't.
You should reach out to him, Nikki. You have a lot of experience in the subject and might be able to help navigate them with different things that might.
I thought about that.
Help them along with their little project they have.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the whole Cloudcroft you just saw.
Wow. Oh, sorry. Can you go back? I was blinking at the time.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the whole thing. And then that trailhead I took is around the corner over here.
And just give them that tree recording and let them play that really loud in a dark room.
Oh, yeah. That would be a good one, huh? Oh, this is where I was trying to look for an inhaler. I stopped at this little doctor's office. I thought maybe they have a tester. Nope. No such luck.
Well, that's beautiful out there.
Yeah, it was fun.
What's your dominant tree? Out
Ponderosa pine.
Ponderosa pine.
Mm-hmm. Oak.
Yeah. Okay.
And oak. Mm-hmm.
So you got a lot of acorns. Did you notice that there was an abundance of acorns?
Not really. I didn't.
They're probably still up into the tree right now. You'd have to look up and see the bunches of them up there. Now
I know there are some. I know that because my daughter had some in her hand. So I just wasn't paying attention to that.
White oak, you can there's a small enough amount of tannin in the white oak where you can actually eat the acorns. Animals will scarf those up real fast. That's a good thing to know. So white oak, animals and humans for that matter, that would be affected by large amounts of tannin by eating regular acorns or anything that had a lot of tannin in it that would poison you. You're able to eat the white oak acorns.
I agree. I think she's faking it too. Trying to get out of work. Trying to play hooky. I agree, Gross.
Yeah, well, when I woke up yesterday, I couldn't breathe. So woke up, I was like,
who needs that?
She was stuffy. Enzo asks, Patriot Supply better than Mountain House?
Oh, by far. Okay, yeah, and if you want some Mountain House, I have about 5 totes of it that you can have.
There's a lot right there.
Yeah.
That does say a lot.
Yeah.
I was cooking, however. I made a couple of good meals out there.
Nice. You can make up some good meals, and if you have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate those meals and then bring them in and give them some water and bring them back to life.
I'm not going to be like that rough in it. I'll have all my stuff with me for sure.
Yeah, Nikki's going to be semi-glamping.
Yeah, I'm a semmer.
Bring Les Stroud out there with you. He's pretty good at going out in the woods collecting all sorts of wild edibles and brewing up a heck of a meal.
Yeah, I'm not that dedicated.
I remember when he went in that swamp and he come up and he had a bunch of leeches all over him. Boy, he's tougher than I am. I can handle a lot of stuff on the ground, but crawling around in old mucky, wet water with snakes and that's not for me.
This coming Saturday, there's going to be an eclipse. Okay.
Is there one this Saturday? Really? Huh.
Well, you have to look on the map, like where it's intense and where it's not, and when they
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going back to see if I missed anybody talking. Let's see.
Oh, hey, we had an earthquake here.
You did?
Pretty big earthquake, yeah, 4.3 on the Richter scale, right on the subduction zone. So it's like, that's like the subduction zone's like the big one. That's the big one for our area.
So Seattle's gonna fall right into the sea, right?
Hopefully. Can't stand Seattle. It's so packed. I don't want anybody to get hurt, of course. Definitely not the animals, but too many people.
Yes, Sandra, this was a learning experience.
Hey, Sandra.
See, and that's kind of what it's all about, is just kind of learning off, being honest with yourself and just learning, like you're saying, Nikki, you had the opportunity not to present all the stuff that didn't go wrong or that went wrong and stuff. And so, it's a learning experience, gives other people the opportunity to see how operations go and not to be discouraged because they think theirs is going less solid than other people's. So I like examples like this.
Yeah. It was, and it wasn't like bad things. That not having an inhaler was pretty bad because even in Washington, I was using it, so that I could just be comfortable up there walking. So, but I think that I did have a little bit of altitude elevation sickness there for that first day, and it did start to diminish day by day. I was feeling better and better, which was good for that Saturday hike because she'd had me going all up and everywhere. And actually, I could have done more, but I had already promised the kids when I was going to be back, and because I had left them alone at the camp, so needed to get back over there to them. But it was good. It was a good trip, and I thought about you guys there. I know Jen would have loved it for sure. Probably would have found more stuff out there.
Jen would have been tracking.
She's a good tracker. She's definitely a good tracker.
Yeah. Jen is very attentive to her surroundings. I've seen that. Yeah.
And she's really good at being still, like not moving.
Meditating.
Trackway says, learn documentary.
I'm trying to stay awake. Gotta focus.
I know. Are you gonna go to work tomorrow?
I gotta be at work at 9 in the morning. Yeah.
Oh God, you better go to bed. It's already 10 o'clock over there.
Oh, zoinks! Yeah.
Here shortly.
Hydrate. A lot of vitamin C and Z.
Take a nice hot shower before you go to bed, and you'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, I have. I've been taking big doses of vitamin C.
Yeah.
This last night and this morning, I'll take another one before I go to bed. But,
put a slice of raw onion on the bottom of your feet with a sock. Have you heard of that?
And do what? Go to bed?
Yeah, go to bed with it all night long.
And use onion the next day.
That's an old grandma thing that it draws out something in the onion draws out fever.
That means I'd have to get dressed, go to the store, and buy an onion. That's not how.
Yeah, that's not.
You got any peppers?
And you'll be pretty stinky too.
Yeah. I do have Vicks and thick socks. So I can do the Vicks.
Yeah,
Vicks. That's
there you go.
Yeah,
Vicks.
Putting stuff like that and other lotions and our oils and stuff really do help, though. So.
Yeah, when I went to bed last night, I did the saline thing. Then I put Vicks on there and I took vitamin C. It's like,
oh gosh.
Got up and got done talking to Steve, and after the show, I was just like, yeah, everything. I just turned everything off and went.
Oh gosh. I know. You were going to make a point on last night's show, but you kind of got cut off a little bit. I can't remember what we were talking about. If Uncle Bones is in the house, man, he was going. He was trying to.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what point it was because I'm just not focused. But you want to know what I saw, and it was by the time we got up to the campsite, it was probably 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there by the time we got up there.
Yeah.
It was dark. I mean,
7, 8, 9. Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's one thing I didn't do was a night hike. I did a late afternoon one, but I didn't do the night hike primarily because I wasn't breathing well, and the cold air was really doing me in once the sun went down. Mm-hmm. And my daughter was freaked out because she was watching me. And so I just didn't do it. I didn't want to upset her. We had walkies on, so she could, contact me when I was out and about.
Well, I think you made a good choice because, unless you're armed, you're talking about a rocky trail where you could roll your ankle. Your first time there,
Right. I didn't know where I was going. It was
didn't
all
have your inhaler. I think you
new.
made a
Yeah,
great choice
I
by
made.
saying
There was a
what.
bunch of things. You know, I did have my bear spray and stuff, but it was just the
Don't
terrain.
let
The
the
terrain was
subject
something
drive
else
you.
I wasn't used to.
Yeah.
So that'll
Good
take
choice.
some time to get used to. But Brent had talked to me earlier about there's also another possibility of adding somebody to the group to go out with us, and maybe he's more interested in doing the night hikes because EC is not, and she makes valid points by not wanting to go out because she feels that that area is kind of dangerous to go out at night.
Humans?
No. Mountain lion. She's
Okay.
kind of concerned with mountain lion and bear, and she has known of a recent thing that happened where the bear got into a cabin and mauled the lady in there, and that I guess they may be a little bit more aggressive in
Was
that
it
area.
the Mexican grizzly bear?
Shut up. I even thought about
Maybe?
that when she was saying, I'm like, wow, that's pretty aggressive to break in, not just the screen door, but the door.
We have a Joe in the house.
We have a what?
Hey, there he is.
We have Joe in the house.
What's going on, Joe?
Hey.
Hey, folks, just popping
Howdy,
in
howdy.
to say howdy. Howdy, Joe.
Hey,
Howdy,
Joe.
man.
Nikki, you might want to check with your, up here, I would say a forest ranger or local Department of Environmental Conservation. Talk to them to see if that maybe they extracted that, bear with a bad temperament. I
think they
100%.
did. I think she
Yeah,
said they
100%
did.
they're
I
gonna
think they
kill it.
killed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they
could go
killed it.
speak to them and ask if they've had any issues. I mean,
There's been more issues north in the Rio Doso area, Mescaleto area. There has been, and that's where I saw that mom with the 3 cubs. But not there in Cloudcroft. She says, and she made a point. She said it's because nobody goes out at night. She says we haven't had any issues because people know better than to go walking in the woods at night. Is what she said.
Yeah.
So,
yep. Respect her. Respect that with her.
Yeah. And I do. I totally do.
Wait till you're with a
she's
group.
Been walking these areas
But
for
I'd
a
still
long
do it.
time. So
right on.
I'd say if you put Brent and Alex in the same place at the same time, you'd never find either one of them.
They're gone. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that. But it's been an hour. I don't have a whole lot more other than I just wanted to share a few things with you. I have a lot of, again, downloading to do of the videos. What happened? Something bite you or what?
Yeah, wild cat.
No,
he brought a tree octopus home.
I know, man.
That
I think
freaking
so.
grizzly.
It's like coming after me. Hey, no, but seriously, on a serious note about the tree octopus, if at least somebody, one person, can you honestly just reach out to Melba Ketchum and ask her how the tree octopus DNA study is going? Just ask her, be cool about it, be like, I'm just checking on. Just ask her, please. Somebody just ask her. Maybe 2 people, that would be great, but not on the same day. Maybe coordinate or something, but somebody, please.
I could probably peer review that for her too if she wants to send it over. I'll sign up.
Like, almost got her. Like, almost got her convinced, but she's
quick.
so busy with other stuff, mermaid stuff.
The mermaid.
Yeah, I'm like, the tree octopus is where it's at. I'm like, I was just messaging her. I'm like, yeah, just talking to somebody who just had a sighting and might have collected some ooze DNA and stuff, and it's a really weird phenomenon going. Anyway, so
then you just go to the fish market and buy a octopus and scrape some scales off.
Oh my God, that's so bad. That is so bad. But anybody have any other questions? Now's your time to put it in there. If you have any other questions for me, we're just going to keep it short and sweet tonight, unless you guys have some other topic you'd like to talk about.
Like to say good night to Joe. Love you too, brother.
Good night.
Bye,
Night,
Joe. I
See you,
did
Joe.
call Joe. I called him out there while I was at the fire ring, in front of the fire to see what he was up to.
Nice. Looks
Love
like
you,
he
Joe.
took his meds and headed to bed.
Have a good night, man.
Yeah,
We love you.
good one.
Chat with you tomorrow.
Yeah. So if anybody has the link to the GoFundMe for Joe and Molly, if you can drop that. I don't think I have it here anymore.
I have it, but it's in Messenger. I have it handy.
I had saved it in my banners, but it's not there now. Oops, what did I just do?
Yeah, I actually pinned that in my that one video that I have. Tom Berenger movie.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's like it gets tons of views. It's getting a lot of likes, so hopefully people are donating to it.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's a
Did
calamari tree.
Did you just post that, Brett? Recently?
No, it's a movie I posted a while ago, and it's got it went insanely viral.
Oh, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, it's like 1 million or so hits right now, and
wow, there you go.
Yeah, and
wow,
so a lot of people are looking at it. So I just pinned his GoFundMe and kind of told a little story.
There you go. Nice.
And hopefully, it's getting some traffic over there.
Excellent.
Oh, my sister was here. I didn't even know. Did you see her on here? I didn't even see her.
Yeah,
I was
saw her.
Because you blocked her.
I didn't block her. I did not block her. I did not block you.
Starting
sister.
trouble.
You know, I did not block
trouble
you.
between the sisters.
You don't do that.
If someone else can chime in too.
She started handing out hammers to everybody.
Okay. You know what? You know what? You're out. No.
Starting trouble.
As always. But hey, I learned a new card game out there too. It was a lot of fun. I don't even remember the name of it. Escape. It was Escape.
Oh, nice.
So nothing like that. They were bored probably by the second day. The kids were bored, but I had them collecting firewood all the time.
They wanted that fast.
They wanted $8 a bundle.
Oh yeah, it's
the
ridiculous.
bundle consisted of 4 pieces of wood.
Yeah.
Yikes, man, that's like highway robbery.
It was.
Wow, that's insane.
It was. So I bought a bundle for each night, and then I said, now you guys have to go out and just scour the area. But when you have a regular campground, it's picked, it's pretty well picked. You have to walk in to find anything good. So they were bringing me bark that was just crackling all night long.
Something if they go out there with you next time, something to help keep them occupied is to kind of get them into rock hounding too.
Yeah,
and you could maybe find you have some really cool opportunities for some rock hounding out there, and find some cool rocks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And you guys do have nice minerals out west.
Oh yeah, a lot of copper, iron, and granite, and a fool's gold, iron pyrite,
blue topaz. That would be nice.
What is it? Onyx.
Oh, nice.
Is that what the Indian tears are, Jen? Is that onyx? What is Indian tear? Indian teardrops.
Opal? No, opal's more like a pearl.
Or
somebody out there knows. Susie, is the Indian teardrops onyx? I don't know. Anyway.
Or
obsidian. Obsidian.
I was trying to think of the other one of the black stones.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that before.
They make arrowheads out of it.
Oh, nice.
I used to have a really nice arrowhead. It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
It was an obsidian one, and it hit the floor, and it just went.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my sister used to go out. She used to have a little 3-wheeler and go out to the ghost towns and go look for rocks like that too.
What kind of 3-wheeler was it? Honda?
I don't know. We're talking 20 years ago.
I had a Honda.
Now they're all gone. You hardly ever see any of them anymore. Aren't they dangerous?
Yeah, they are.
You turn the corner and you go, boop.
Yeah. They have them now, but they flipped it around. So the third wheel's in the back. You get the two up front.
Uh-huh.
So still kind of around, just a little changed.
Wicked sharp. Trackway said Obsidian is wicked sharp. Yep.
Yeah, that one that I had, you could probably slice tomatoes with it.
Wow. She said it was an old pull start too.
Now, is that when you actually, is that how it chips off naturally, or do you actually?
Yeah, you just barely have to knock it and you can.
Yeah, it's like, it looks like glass that's layered.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you, like if you find an arrowhead or somebody creates arrowhead from it, they have to just do it real lightly, and you can see where it just kind of cracks and pops off.
Yeah. And the real thin pieces you can see through almost.
That's something. That's
almost.
Cool.
Yeah. It's because I braved it out, Donald. Oh. Okay. That's something else. Well, thank you guys for coming and listening to me talk, and I got a lot of stuff to download.
No, I look forward to the videos. You said,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Good series of your nice little adventure out here.
Yeah, at least the quarter-mile trail. Then I did the OSHA trail, and then EC took me out to 2 different areas, so that's two more. And then I did 2 cooking ones. So
nice.
Well, as long as the hiking ones you didn't film their ass, and while you were out there walking, should be all right.
I'm gonna edit it. I have to anyway because she doesn't want to be seen, so I have to take out.
Video.
Yeah, it just went from 2 hours to 20 minutes. Yeah.
And you chased skunks out for 2 nights, and you didn't get sprayed. That's a win-win right there.
Did I send you, Brent? I sent somebody the skunk video. One of the skunks videos of me chasing the skunk. I was throwing rocks. I wasn't throwing rocks at the skunk. I was throwing rocks near the skunk to get it to go away.
It takes quite a bit to get those to pop that tail up. And what is it about a skunk that kind of deters them from doing it? Like, does it cause them discomfort, or, and I don't know if there's any truth to that whatsoever, but for some reason, is there a reason why a skunk would rather, maybe it was its own smell? It didn't want to make I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Never mind me. I'm getting tired.
No, it only one time did it puff up, and then we were like, okay. We'll stop throwing shit at you. But yeah.
I caught one in a trap, and that was enough for me. Yeah, and that's a strong smell when you're right up in close to it.
My dog got skunked twice. Not this dog, but growing up, I can remember the tomato baths having to give the dog.
Well, seeing we live on the 3rd floor, we can open the windows because, first floor opening the windows is for dead people. But on the 3rd floor, you can open your windows. And in the summer, the skunks wander through under the windowsills, and it's just like
I wonder if that's just the remnants of them spraying, say, a year ago, or if they always carry that odor. Like if they never sprayed from the time they were born.
No, then they don't smell.
They wouldn't smell.
I had a friend who had a skunk, and she got it de-skunked, took the packet out of the back.
Okay.
But she was saying that even when she had it was an abandoned little baby they found, I guess, and and it wouldn't just spray. It has to be like life, really spooked before it'll flip around and get you. But I guess there's some that will. It just depends. They each have their own attitude, I guess.
Yep, Grumpy Gus.
I do know that stuff. That stuff is so toxic that The one time my mom opened the back door and there was a skunk right there and she shut the door, it sprayed the back door in like this M shape.
Wow.
And I mean, for years, we tried to paint over that and it would come back out.
That's because it has
That
oil.
yeah, it would just pop back out.
If you use an oil-based primer, you probably could have sealed over top of that. But if you were using latex water-based paint, it will just keep separating.
I don't know what they used. I was just a kid.
Like Zorro. With the sword, Zorro.
Yeah.
Only it was a skunk.
During the winter, they would come in and stay in the wood pile. So that's why we would have to hit the door several times to spook whatever was out there before you'd open the back door. That's how the dog got sprayed too.
I mean, they're just like a little cat. If they didn't have the ability,
they are. Have you seen that one on YouTube and TikTok and a bunch of places where it runs and then it? They're so cute. They're cute when they do that little chattering thing.
There's a lot of variety to those skunks too. In Warrensburg, 11, 12 o'clock at night, they were always walking around town, and there was a couple of them that had a lot more white on their backs than, this other one would be your typical 2 white stripes and look like, the typical skunk, but they're not all like, like a white-tailed deer. They just have the same markings. Very seldom are they any different. Where skunks, they have more white, less white. Some are
they can look
all
different.
white. Yeah.
That's why we knew this was the same one coming back every night, bothering us. Come to get all the rice I dropped on the floor.
Wants to say hi.
Yeah.
What's up? I'm a skunk.
I'm a skunk. Had 2 skunks standing on the front feet, threatening to spray. Oh, with their asses up in the air.
Ooh, run.
Double barreled.
Yeah, my bus driver got really upset with me because when that happened, like I said, I caught it in a trap across the road from my house in a 220 Condabear. And when it sprayed, there was actually a little thin layer of ice on the beaver flow. And where I caught it, I was supposed to be catching a raccoon, but I caught a skunk. And when it sprayed that oily stuff across the ice. You could see all the different colors and where it all went. And yeah, my dad was a little upset with me. And I told him I wasn't trying to catch a skunk, but the bus driver, Pete Lloyd, pulled up and he's like, "What the hell did you do, Rafferty?" Oh, God. Oh.
And you know how, when you're out camping, you should always have your camera with you just in case. Well, I missed a perfect little doe out by the vault toilets. And we heard the rustling and we had our flashlights and there's this deer in the headlight look right at us, this little deer. And it was funny. I go, well, they'll have to believe me because I have no proof of that. Little deer. It was a little Bambi. No, it was a little bit older, but it was definitely a doe. So we saw, and it was hunting season too. So we were occasionally hearing gunfire too. And seeing them. There was all kinds of trucks on the way home on Sunday with deer in the back.
What kind do you guys have? Black-tailed deer or mule deer?
Mule deer.
Mule deer. How big are they? Like
pretty big.
300 pounds or?
Yeah. Every one I saw had sizable racks.
Oh, nice.
I was nothing less than like 4-pointer but I've only seen them because of the racks sticking up from the back.
Well, bet they taste good. I love venison. Holy moly, I can eat pans of that and eggs. Just fry up a half dozen eggs sunny side up. Take that venison, chop it up into little bits like that. Butter.
We used to just jerky deer. Everything. If it was deer, we'd jerky it. Elk, different story. I like elk, but I'm not a big deer.
I don't know if I've had elk. I've had moose, and I did not like bear. I'll never try that again. Didn't like that, but I don't think I've had elk.
Pronghorn? What?
Pronghorn?
Well, that was the next one. I thought it said porn horn at first.
No.
It's like, what is Grasshopper saying?
Trackway is creating things at Muppet Labs too. That's...
Muppet.
Oh, really? Trackway. Okay.
Here at Muppet Labs, you can bind a skunk and a 10-foot pole and get made a 10-foot polecat.
Nice. Well, that must be nice if mule deer are a lot bigger than whitetail. I mean, if you're going to get one tag and, knock one down, you get a lot of meat, off a 350, 400-pound animal. And these days, that's pretty valuable. And especially when steak is like anywhere between, $7, $8 a pound to $20 some odd dollars a pound for top of the line steak. That's deer, you're going to get, a couple huge bowls of good red meat, throw in the freezer.
It's a lot cheaper in Texas to get steak.
Yeah. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It's
how much is it to mail it? You allowed to mail it north? Yeah. I buy the thin ones and something small just to have that for dinner and get the taste, but like I'm not spending $23 or $17 for a steak. I could eat 6 of them.
Yes,
no,
I've
same
heard.
here. Same here. That's why I'm just gonna go hunt my steak and go hunt
there
the cow.
You go. That's right.
They're out there, dude.
I'm too lazy for all that. I just go hunting in the meat department at work.
Yeah. Brent's gonna be like, woo.
Oh man.
Then I have a freezer full of steak.
They're gonna be like, oh, there's that guy again. Should we go?
Nah, just let him go. He seems like it's important to him and he's having fun.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my heart.
What? I saw a cool short of moose dropping its horns today.
Oh, same here. Yeah, I had a nice little story accompanied with it about a guy saving a moose out of a pond, and then it later came back and gave him some love and gave him some antlers as soon as he came home. He came out and shook his head and stuff, and yeah, and it got on his ring cam, I think. If he's
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really cool. I mean, it's not too common to see it like that, But I thought that happened last year, so I don't know if it's what's going on with it or what. But cool.
It just recycles during hunting season and comes back around. Just like the stupid beacon Bigfoot won't die. I keep seeing that thing coming back and back and back. Oh, I did get my hand caught in the Yeti cooler. You kind of see the. Nice. It hurt a lot too, and I tripped on my daughter's Batman thing too. Good thing the picnic table saved me, kind of. Let's just buy a cow, sister. That's actually a big thing here in Texas. Is just to go buy a whole cow.
Yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna do with my brothers. We're gonna go in on a cow or so. Just fill up my deep freezer with meat. It's actually a lot cheaper than going to the stores, and you can get like grass fed, and it's really good options. But you got to buy a large quantity and have a place to store it.
Yeah, for sure. It is a better deal. You just have to come up with that money. It's a big hit in the front, even though you're saving money in the long run. Mm-hmm. Nikki was bitten by a Yeti. Yeah, I was. I was bitten by a Yeti. What has the stupidest pull down little rubber, I don't know, clasps?
Now Nikki is a wear Yeti. Trackway. Oh. A wear Yeti.
I'm a wear Yeti. Yeah. Well, I knew I couldn't go without hurting myself somehow. Somehow something was going to happen.
Yeah, I still have scars on the back of my calves from the stupid chair.
Oh. Yeah, the chair bit you bad, though. That was bad. I didn't want to say how bad I thought it was, but it
the back of both my calves are, I still got scars.
Oh my God. Man. Oh, you know what did happen on Saturday morning? 6 o'clock, my truck went off and it did the whole alarm thing, waking up the whole camp. And by the time I realized it was my truck and got untangled from all the blankets I had and got up to look out the thing, the truck reset and there's this guy with the flashlight looking in my truck.
What?
And I'm like, at first I didn't know if I was seeing something. I didn't think it was a Bigfoot. Okay. It clearly looked like a human, but I thought, it's so early. Am I really seeing a guy? Cause it was kind of far, but then he turned and I saw the flashlight and I'm like, oh shit, it is a guy trying to break into my truck.
Oh my gosh.
So I got ready and tried to go out there. But before I could get my shoes on, I heard a truck take off. So I have a feeling they have people going around testing the door handles because that's the only way to set off that alarm is if you mess with the door handle.
Wow. So get yourself a picture of, the little stickers that they have. It says security camera or whatever. I mean, they say if you just slap a sticker up somewhere, at least it shaves off the first tier of idiots that would do something like that,
That's probably what they do. They just go from camp to camp because when you're camping, you just leave the doors open and you're in and out of your vehicle all day long, getting stuff.
The evidence against it would probably be that they had their car parked close nearby, and which would, a lot of people would be able to see their license plate and stuff. But if your car was going off for a long period of time, it was probably somebody kind of like, hey, this person's like waking everybody up because it's like 7 o'clock.
That could be it too, because it reset itself. So that's how long it went.
Yeah, which is like a couple minutes or so.
Yeah,
I would be getting up and be like with those campers that over there at Mount St. Helens. Like it doesn't take very long for me to go wait. Yeah.
Why did she set her alarm?
Yeah.
Out here. Yeah, I don't know. It could have been, but maybe what would have set it off?
A raccoon?
No. That truck is too big for a raccoon.
Don't you have to pull the door handle or?
You have to have the door handle. It won't. I tested it later. I went banged, nothing set it off. I tried to lift the back gate, nothing. Not even the back doors, the front. It was the front doors that went off. But I thought, oh my God, they're not going to take a catalytic converter out here or anything.
Wow, yeah. That's good. Never know.
Yeah, they're pretty slick at what they do, but
well, at least you had fun and it was a good learning experience. And that's kind of the important thing is to kind of go get more experience. So the next outings that you have are going to be just as more productive and, more with your time and stuff. So you don't waste resources and kind of like what we were talking about earlier and how important it is to have a good organized outing, the importance to eliminate issues with collecting data on if it might be your teammates or not, or just different things and stuff. So it's a great learning experience. So very happy for you, and I'm very excited to see kind of what you're doing in the future.
Thanks. I have learned that I think for sure that I could do it on my own without having somebody there with me now, and do like what Jen's doing with having, you know, her little setup all in her car, not having to
Car
worry
camp.
about,
Yeah.
not having a tent, not doing all that business.
Well, it's getting colder too, so it's like car
Well,
camp
now,
is
I
kinda-
can't do that. It was freaking freezing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do that again.
Oh, that air bed, that air mattress I bought.
Yeah.
It was longer than I needed, so I had to move the front seat up so it could hang over. That thing was slicker than a wet fish. You should get on it with the sleeping bag. You should... So I wound up having to stick it inside the sleeping bag because I have a huge sleeping bag. So I put it inside the sleeping bag and then zipped it around it. But I sent that back. I'm just gonna get like a memory foam thing. It's like,
oh, is it for the back of your Subaru? Oh yeah.
You said that fit right in there. Was it made for a Subaru or
that
just
one?
made
No,
for
because like from the base of my trunk when it's shut, the top of the seats when they're folded down is like 66.5 inches.
Yeah, it's not very
big. Then you
big.
can extend the headrest out, and then But that thing was almost 78 inches long.
Okay.
So, I moved the front seat up and put it so it just wrenched against it, so it gave it stability.
Yep. Yep.
But I mean, it wasn't uncomfortable. It was just like learn the hard way, like put the sleeping bag on it and try to lie down. I was like, shoo.
Yeah.
You slid.
When you lay the front seats flat, they're not flat.
Right.
A little bit of an angle.
Yeah.
It was like sliding. My feet were against the back of the car.
They have some pretty nice car top, truck top setups as well. It was Max Powers. I think he had one on one of his vehicles.
Yeah, you can get them for the Subarus. Yeah, you can get those. But no, thank you. I want to be inside solid pieces of things.
Yeah. That's a good point. That is a good point.
You just gotta get
like if it's raining, if it's cold, if it's windy, if there's tall things walking around poking tents on top of God. No, thank you. I'm going to be inside the car.
Get a 12-foot lift kit in your car.
Yeah, right.
Buy a monster Subaru.
Oh my God.
But Jen, something that you might look into is the hiking pads that you can blow up. I think the ones that I let you guys use over at Mount St. Helens. So those I don't know if those are comfortable enough for you guys, but.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be quite thick enough.
Oh yeah.
Because I had that car has the the WeatherTech. It's the Subaru mat, but it's that real heavy plastic mat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it has that lip on it. But what I'm thinking about getting is just I found them on Amazon. They're just it's like 4 or 5. I think they go from 3 to 6 inches thick, and they're the foam, but they tri-fold. You just fold it up.
Oh, nice.
And then when you want to use it, you just unfold it and done. You're not fiddling with stuff. You're not pumping up stuff.
There you go.
Just open it up.
That's perfect. No sliding out the end, huh?
Is it memory foam or just regular foam or memory foam?
It's
or multiple
most
layers?
of them are like high density foam and then a layer of memory foam, and then they put them in a cover. And they just you can zip the cover off and wash it or put a sheet on it or whatever. But when you fold it up, just a little block sliding underneath the tarp and the cover in the back, and that's it.
Yeah, I was watching this lady with one of those tents up on her little car, and she just put that thing up by herself, and I'm like, there's no way I would climb up and down that thing just to go pee.
And like come the summer weather, I might look at getting one of the things that you can hook onto the back of the car, and then the hatch holds it up, and it makes like a little tent.
Yep.
Those look nice. Yeah. That's cool.
For air circulation during the summer.
I want a little teardrop trailer. That's what I want.
Yeah, Jen, you might want to look into the really big mosquito nets. That's what I use. It's like a 15 by 15, and I do the same thing. I got a Subaru as well. Obviously, I think you saw it, but I do that. I leave the back open, and I have 2 poles that go out the end right there to keep it a good structural thing, and I just throw that over the top, and
nice.
It's good. It's good to go
Yeah,
for that back end right there.
The window netting, and she's put over the whole door, and then you can just put over the windows.
Yeah.
I was like,
it is good to get some
right
air
now, good enough.
That's for sure.
Yeah, there you go. Thermal cells though really work though. They do. The little thing, keep mosquitoes away.
Oh yeah.
Oh, them
right.
With sound.
I have one of those, but I didn't buy any cartridges.
It's not sound. What makes the mosquitoes go away with the electronic things? I
think it's magic.
What is it?
Yeah, it's like
magic.
Narnia.
Magic.
Narnia.
Yeah, no, it's a little pad that gets heated over the course of 12 hours. That's fed by butane, I think it is, and and it just you turn it on and it just heats that little pad, and it gives you a 15 by 15 area, or depending upon the size that you got, and they work really well. I mean, really, really well.
And what, the mosquitoes don't like the smell of it?
Yeah, I guess.
Like citronella?
Yeah, almost. But it doesn't smell like citronella. It has whatever that magic is in it, kind of like those magic erasers, how they have magic in them.
Right.
Same thing. Right. Whatever it is, man, it works. Works good.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've ordered, and I'm so mad, but I ordered a car kettle, like a coffee mug that you can just plug into the outlet. Heat water. Make some coffee in the morning. Hey man, the whole side of the stainless steel was all brown and weird, and I was like, can't even use this thing. I had to return it. I was like,
are you going to be using like a power inverter for that, or does it just plug right into your outlet?
Just plugs right into the car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've got a little jumper box. It's not like a Jackery or anything, but kind of sorta, but it's like a jumper box, but it has a 3-prong plugs, and it's got the USBs on it.
Yeah.
You might need a converter or something. Maybe you were getting too much electricity or not enough.
No, I opened this thing, took it out of the box, and the stainless steel on the inside of the rim and then on the outside of the rim was all like, it looked like rust. It was just
already
discolored. And I was just like, no.
Bad metal.
Yeah.
Bad metal.
So they just got left here, and I was like, well, oh well.
Oh, yeah.
Got to have coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have my little thing set up.
Yeah, and I figured, we're driving through New York. There's not like I can't pull off and get coffee, so I wasn't too stressed about it. It's not out in the middle of nowhere.
Let me see. Where was my setup here? I had
Yeah, Trackway got the rear seat mattress that goes in his truck.
There you go. Nice little percolator coffee pot.
Yeah.
Is that a percolator? The knob on the top, it percolates?
No, that's just a little handle, but it does bubble up boil. Makes a little sound. That's just straight.
The water boils up through a thin tube.
Yeah. It has the insert, the percolator insert in there.
Yeah, that's tricky. I mean, folks that use those for the first time, they get it boiling and it starts over percolating, and the grounds go down into the coffee.
Oh yeah, you have to. The trick: don't put so much water that it goes all the way to the spout, because then it just can make a mess.
Yeah,
you just need. I got it already.
All right.
Yeah.
Check that off the list. Good cup of coffee in the morning. Right on.
Yeah, for sure. That's the first thing.
Well, like we'd get driving. We'd be driving for like 3 hours, and finally I'd be just like, exit.
Coffee.
Failing, I need a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do too bad in Washington with the little dehydrate. What are the little packets? Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought. I got a jar of the French roast.
Mm-hmm.
From Folgers, which for instant coffee tastes really, really good. And
I drank Maxwell
like that was
all summer.
That was my plan. I was just like, take the bottle of that, take some creamer, whatever, heat up the water. I could just make myself a cup of coffee. When I woke up by plugging it into the car.
It's not half bad, especially when you're out in the woods. I mean, coffee's coffee when you're out there, you know. I mean, just...
What the heck is that, Michael? Michael just sent me a monster bug picture. You guys want to see it? Stop it, cat.
He sent it to me too. I don't know what it was.
Did he send it to you too?
Yeah.
Hold on. Here it comes.
I'm probably going to have to crash out here in a minute.
Yeah, me too. I'm fighting yawning.
Yeah. Oh, man. Look at that.
Sorry, guys. That probably didn't help.
What?
Pincher bug or whatever it is. Wow, that's a pretty good size one there.
Yeah, that's how they start out. Then they get inside you, and then they like burrow and then they come out your chest.
Yeah, crawl right up your nose, start eating your brain.
You killed it, yeah. Or it goes through your ear. It goes through your ear.
Earwigs.
Yeah, it goes through your ear, then it goes.
Yeah.
I saw how that movie ends.
It takes It takes over your whole brain.
Yep.
Your whole brain. Walmart has percolators, camping percolators. The mandated reporter. Good evening. Don't mind me. I'm just here to make sure TOS is not violated. What?
TOS.
TOS.
What's that?
Terms of service.
Or the old series if we're talking about Star Trek. So.
Yeah. Nobody violated TOS.
Whatever.
TOS.
Not that we know of, anyway.
No. How you doing, TOS?
He's just doing his job.
Violated.
Everybody chill. He's just doing his job.
Yep. Just doing his job.
Doing his job.
Right on.
Well, am I going to try to end this again when we get started back up again?
I know. That was like, what, a half hour
Look, we almost made it another hour.
Yeah, I know. I was like planning on like 20 minutes ago going, good night, y'all, because I'm done.
What happened?
Right
Who hit the button too soon?
No.
Man. My whole screen blacked out and came back on. Was that just me?
We're still
just me.
Touch anything.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you guys for coming on. I'm going to go ahead and end this so Jen can go to bed, otherwise she'll just sit here. So
yeah, I'll just fall asleep on the pillow right here.
Okay.
Coming out.
Sweet dreams, Jen.
Oh, shit. Now everything's kind of going crazy. Hey, you guys, hit that like button before you leave. Share it around. Come back at you with some good videos this week, hopefully. And talk to you guys soon. See you in the next chat.